My name is Pattie Sheehan, and I am a certified mastectomy fitter. And the Affordable Care Act is extremely important to me as an individual, as well as a proprietor who serves women who have had breast cancer and are now survivors, or even those who are yet to be diagnosed. From a personal point of view, it's the fact that I am a sole proprietor, and I do buy my own insurance, which I pay over $600 a month for. And it's my feeling that the Affordable Care Act, should we get the exchanges that we've been talking about, will make it much more affordable for me to be able to have personal insurance. But an even bigger issue for me is the women that I serve. The women that I serve should be covered by insurance and Medicare for the products that they purchase. However, too many women are underinsured and uninsured. And with the Affordable Care Act, they will be able to have the insurance for the products that they need. The kinds of products that we're talking about start primarily with a mastectomy prosthesis, which is what this is. For a woman who's had her breast removed, she wears a prosthesis that looks and feels like an actual breast. She wears it inside of a bra that has a pocket which the prosthesis can go into. The bras cost about the same as any average bra, but a prosthesis is $300. And for a woman who has no insurance, this is an extremely expensive proposition, and yet it's an important one. She must be able to wear something that's going to help balance her out. It is not about cosmetics. She needs to be able to hold her shoulders straight, her back up. She needs to be able to walk in a straight way without injuring either side of her body. So without a properly weighted prosthesis, she faces long-term effects of being unbalanced. It's also a psychological issue. As we all know, the way we look, the way we feel has a lot to do with the way we live our lives. So for a woman to have lost a breast is a major issue going forward in her life and her rehabilitation as life goes on. The other thing about the Affordable Care Act that's important is the issue of pre-existing conditions. Many of these women who have had breast cancer and are long-term survivors are to be applauded for the fact that they have survived after such a traumatic experience. However, for some of them, getting insurance, should they change companies or move or have other changes in their life, reach an issue of being treated as pre-existing. Even though the cancer has been arrested, there is no way of knowing if cancer will ever come back. Of course, there's no way of knowing if any of us will ever get cancer of any kind. But because they have had cancer previously, they are put into that particular area of pre-existing. For them, it's critical that they continue to have health insurance for all of the other issues in their life, and that the cancer that they've had is not something that singles them out. There's also the issue, of course, of Medicaid. A lot of people are concerned about the Medicaid rolls increasing under the Affordable Care Act. I think the important thing to remember here is that there will be federal aid to help the states to take care of the costs involved in bringing these additional people onto the rolls. I see women every day who in the past I have been able to send to nonprofit organizations for free bras, prostheses, and other needs. So it's incredibly important that we find a way to cover their needs through insurance and Medicare and Medicaid, and the Affordable Care Act is something that's going to help us do that. There is another whole side to this story of the Affordable Care Act that really kind of gets my back up, and that's when people say they want to repeal the act. Do I think it's perfect the way it's written? No. Do I think there are things that can be improved? Yes. But for us to repeal it and try to start over would put us into such a morass of issues that it would be impossible to know when, if ever, we would get something else that's going to do the job that we need it to do. I do believe there needs to be insurance reform. I do believe there are other parts of this that need to be addressed, but at least we've made a step toward trying to get coverage for those who are the most vulnerable and need to be taken care of. And if we are to repeal it, those people are going to fall through the cracks. And with this economy and the way that it looks it's going to be for a while, they're never going to get back on track unless we do something to help them get there. So we've got to keep this at least in place and if necessary, make some adjustments to it down the road. The main thing that I would like people who are discussing these issues to keep in mind is that small business is not a company with 100 people and $100 million. Small business is a company with 10 people, 5 people, or in my case, 1 person, whose revenues are a few $100,000 or $800,000. We are the people who are trying to help rebuild this economy. And without this kind of support, it's going to be extremely difficult for us, the micro businesses, the entrepreneurs, to do what we're trying to do, both to help our clients and our constituents and to help build the economy and provide jobs.